Success does not begin with money, it does not begin with fame, it does not begin with applause, it begins with a question you ask yourself in the silence of the morning: what am I truly grateful for today? Gratitude is not just a feeling, it is a foundation. It is the shift from scarcity to abundance, from complaint to clarity, from weakness to strength. When you open your eyes each morning, your mind races toward what is missing, what is broken, what is undone. That is the default of the human brain. But gratitude interrupts that storm. Gratitude says, stop, look again. There is something here worth appreciating. Think of a man waking up in a small, dimly lit room. The world would see poverty, yet he sees sunlight breaking through a cracked window. He sees breath in his lungs, a chance to try again. That perspective changes the way he steps into the day. Where another man sees limitation, he sees possibility. And that single shift, from lack to abundance, can alter an entire life. Science confirms what ancient wisdom has whispered for centuries. Gratitude rewires the brain. It strengthens resilience. It lowers stress. It unlocks clarity. But beyond science, gratitude is a lens. It allows you to see meaning where others see misery, opportunity where others see obstacles. Gratitude is not denial. It does not ignore pain. It transforms pain into purpose by asking, what lesson is hidden here? What strength is being born inside this challenge? Most people rush through mornings. They grab their phone, drown in emails, scroll through endless feeds. They let the outside world dictate their inner state before they even breathe. Gratitude reclaims that power. When you stop, reflect, and speak to yourself with honesty, saying, I am grateful for this, you anchor yourself in strength. Be specific. Do not just say, I am grateful for my health. Say, I am grateful that my body feels strong enough today to carry me through my goals. Do not just say, I am grateful for my family. Say, I am grateful for the way they remind me of what truly matters when the noise of the world grows too loud. Specific gratitude sharpens the lens, making it impossible to ignore the richness around you. Even in failure, gratitude has its place. Consider Thomas Edison. Thousands of failed attempts before the light bulb was born. When asked about those failures, he did not complain. He expressed gratitude for each lesson, saying, I have not failed. I have simply found thousands of ways that do not work. Gratitude turned defeat into data, and data into destiny. This is the first morning question. What am I truly grateful for today? It forces you to slow down, to breathe, to notice. Gratitude strengthens relationships by making you value the people who stand beside you. Gratitude builds resilience by helping you see lessons in pain. Gratitude fuels purpose by reminding you that even now, even here, you already have enough to begin. If you start your day without gratitude, you will chase shadows. You will live from lack. You will run from emptiness. But if you start your day anchored in gratitude, you move with strength. You see with clarity. You lead with abundance. 10 seconds in, here is the truth. Gratitude is not soft. Gratitude is not sentimental. Gratitude is a weapon. It cuts through fear. It silences complaint. It trains your mind to see power where others see problems. Ask yourself every morning, what am I grateful for? And watch your life transform. There is a question more powerful than any to-do list. A question that slices through the noise of distraction and forces you to see the day with clarity. What is the most important thing I need to accomplish today? Busyness is the great enemy of success. Most people move fast, but they move in circles. They start the day with good intentions, but get pulled into minor tasks, interruptions, and endless scrolling. By evening, they are exhausted but empty. They have been busy, but not productive. They have moved, but not advanced. The difference between average and extraordinary is focus. Success is not about doing more. It is about doing what matters most. The ones who rise to greatness are not the ones who check the most boxes. They are the ones who identify the box that matters. and pour themselves into it until it is complete. Think of Warren Buffett, a man worth billions, yet when asked about the key to success, he spoke of focus. He said the difference between successful people and very successful people is that very successful people say no to almost everything. One thing. That is the power of focus. When you wake up and ask yourself, what is the most important thing I need to accomplish today? You give your mind a compass. You stop drifting. You stop reacting. You start leading. That one question cuts through the urgent but unimportant tasks. It forces you to confront what truly moves the needle toward your long-term vision. The trap of urgency is deadly. Emails feel urgent. Messages feel urgent. Meetings feel urgent. But urgency does not equal importance. The most important task often hides in resistance. It is the hard thing, the uncomfortable thing, the thing you want to avoid. And precisely because of that, it is the thing that carries the most impact. Face it, do it first, do it fully. That is how you win the day. Imagine a writer facing a blank page. The urgent tasks scream at her. Clean the desk, check the phone, respond to messages. But the important task is one thing, write. And until she faces that page, nothing else matters. That page is the bridge to her dream. That page is her most important task. And every morning she must ask, what is the page today? When you declare your most important task, you create accountability. It is no longer a vague intention floating in your mind. It is a commitment, spoken, sharpened, alive. And when distractions come, as they always do, you can hold yourself to that commitment. This clarity builds discipline. It strengthens confidence. It trains you to resist the easy and pursue the essential. Start small if you must. One step, one action, but make sure it is the right one. A giant project can feel overwhelming, but when you ask the right question, you break it down. What can I do today to move it forward? That shift makes the impossible possible. Every morning, this question saves you from mediocrity. It reminds you that success is not about endless activity. It is about deliberate progress. One step each day, one meaningful action. That is the brick-by-brick foundation of greatness. This is the second morning question. What is the most important thing I need to accomplish today? Do not confuse urgent with important. Do not confuse busy with productive. Decide. Commit. Execute. 10 seconds in. Here is the truth. You can spend your life checking boxes, or you can spend your life building empires. The choice is made in the morning with one question. What is the most important thing today? Answer it with honesty, act on it with courage, and your days will no longer blur together. They will build into something undeniable. The measure of a life is not only what you achieve, but how you touch the people around you. Every morning, you must ask yourself, how do I want to show up for others today? This question cuts deeper than goals and tasks. It asks about presence, about energy, about the kind of human being you choose to be in the spaces you enter. Because success without character is hollow, and achievement without impact is forgettable. Think of a leader who walks into the room. The team watches not only what he says, but how he carries himself. Is he present, calm, steady, or distracted, anxious, short-tempered? The energy he brings shapes the entire atmosphere. In the same way, your presence ripples out. Your words, your tone, your attention, all leave a mark. Most people drift through the day reactive. Stress dictates their voice. Frustration dictates their choices. They snap at loved ones not because they are unkind, but because they are unprepared. They forget that influence is not reserved for leaders on a stage. Influence is happening every moment, in every interaction. When you ask, how do I want to show up for others today? You reclaim that influence. You remind yourself that you are responsible for the energy you bring. You choose patience over irritation. You choose kindness over indifference. You choose presence over distraction. And these small daily choices create the kind of person others trust, respect, and follow. Consider Viktor Frankl, the psychiatrist who survived the concentration camps. Surrounded by unimaginable suffering, he still asked how he could show up for others. He shared hope. He offered strength. He chose presence. He chose to be a light in the darkest place. That choice did not erase the pain, but it transformed it into purpose. You may not face a camp, but you face challenges. You face people who need you, whether you realize it or not. Your family, your colleagues, your friends, even strangers who cross your path. And every morning, you have a choice. Will you show up as a source of stress or a source of strength? This question also demands self-awareness. To show up for others, you must first check in with yourself. If you are exhausted, angry, or scattered, that will bleed into your interactions. But when you pause, breathe, and set an intention, you gain control. You do not deny your emotions, but you lead them. You guide them. And by guiding yourself, you guide the energy you bring to others. Ask yourself before a difficult conversation, how do I want to show up? Do I want to show up defensive or open? Do I want to show up impatient or understanding? That reflection prepares you. It makes you intentional instead of reactive. And that difference can turn conflict into resolution, division into connection. Greatness is not only in what you build, it is in how you build people along the way. When you show up with encouragement, you lift others. When you show up with patience, you create space for growth. When you show up with integrity, you set a standard. That is impact. That is legacy. This is the third morning question. How do I want to show up for others today? Do not wait for the world to decide who you will be. Decide for yourself. Lead with presence. Move with intention. Choose to be a source of strength, not a shadow of stress. 10 seconds in, here is the truth. You are always showing up for others, whether you know it or not. The only question is, how? Choose carefully, because your presence is your power. Do not be surprised by adversity. Expect it, prepare for it, master it. Each morning you must ask, what challenges might I face today, and how can I handle them? Life does not hand out smooth days in endless supply. It throws obstacles. It disrupts plans. It tests patience. Most people crumble, not because the challenges are too great, but because they never trained their mind to anticipate them. They wake up unprepared, and when adversity arrives, it breaks them. But the resilient think differently. They do not deny the weight of the day. They acknowledge it. They see it coming. They visualize how they will respond. And in doing so, they strip fear of its power. Think of a firefighter. He does not wait until the flames rise to figure out his plan. He has trained for it. He has rehearsed it. When the alarm sounds, his body already knows what to do. That is what preparation looks like. That is what mental rehearsal gives you. Most people treat challenges like ambushes. But the truth is, many of them are predictable. You know the meeting that will be tense. You know the temptation that will appear. You know the delay, the traffic, the unexpected call. By naming them in advance, you take away their power to catch you blind. This question is not about pessimism. It is about readiness. When you ask yourself, what challenges might I face today, you also ask, who do I want to be when they arrive? Do I want to panic or stay calm? Do I want to complain or problem solve? Do I want to fold or rise? Consider an athlete before a big game. They study the opponent. They anticipate the plays. They visualize both failure and recovery. So when the moment comes, they are not frozen. They are ready. Life is the same. Success is not avoiding pressure. It is mastering yourself inside it. This question also prepares your emotions, because challenges do not only test your skills, they test your state. Frustration, fear, self-doubt. These are the real enemies. By anticipating them, you create strategies. Breathing when anger rises, pausing when anxiety spikes, reframing when failure whispers. That is how you stay steady when the storm hits. Every morning, Look ahead. Ask yourself, what challenge is likely today? And more importantly, how will I meet it? Do not wait until the heat of the moment to decide who you will be. Decide now. Prepare now. So when the pressure comes, you do not break. You rise. This is the fourth morning question. What challenges might I face today, and how can I handle them? It is the mindset of a warrior, not a victim. It is the habit of the resilient, not the fragile. 10 seconds in. Here is the truth. Challenges will come. You cannot stop them. But you can decide how you meet them. And in that decision lies the difference between breaking and building, between failure and growth, between average and excellence. Stagnation is death. The day you stop learning is the day you stop living. That is why every morning you must ask yourself, what can I learn or improve today? This question is the difference between drifting through life and deliberately growing through it. Most people wake up and repeat yesterday. Same thoughts, same routines, same excuses. They live on autopilot until years pass and nothing changes. But the ones who rise above, the ones who carve their names into history, they wake up with hunger. Hunger for growth, hunger for knowledge, hunger to refine themselves. Think of Kobe Bryant, known not only for his skill but for his obsession with improvement. After winning championships, after breaking records, he would still be in the gym at 4 a.m., practicing footwork, studying film, dissecting weaknesses. He asked himself daily, what can I sharpen? What can I refine? That question built a legacy. Learning is not limited to classrooms or books. It is everywhere. In the mistake you made yesterday, in the conversation you will have today, in the setback that frustrated you last week. Every experience whispers a lesson. But only those who listen, only those who ask, will capture it. This question keeps your ego in check. Ego says, I already know enough. Ego says, I am good as I am. But growth whispers, there is more. More to see, more to practice, more to master. And greatness always listens to the whisper. Improvement often hides in discomfort. The things you avoid, the tasks you postpone, the skills you fear, these are the very areas that demand growth. Asking what can I learn today forces you to step into that discomfort, to embrace the challenge rather than escape it. Imagine a young speaker terrified of public speaking. She asks herself this question each morning. One day, the answer is simple. Today, I will practice 1 minute of speaking in front of a mirror. Another day, I will record my voice. Then, I will present to one colleague, each step small, but each step forward. Over time, fear becomes confidence. Weakness becomes strength. This is the power of the question. It does not require monumental leaps. It requires consistent steps. Growth is compound interest. Small daily improvements accumulate into extraordinary transformation. 1% better. Each day becomes unstoppable over a lifetime. Learning also means humility, to admit that you do not have all the answers, to seek feedback, to be willing to be wrong. The strongest leaders are students first. They study their craft, their opponents, their own patterns. They never stop asking, how can I get better? Each morning, when you ask what can I learn or improve today, you align yourself with growth. You declare that the day will not be wasted on autopilot. You declare that you will not just live, you will evolve. This is the fifth morning question. What can I learn or improve today? Ask it, live it, and watch your life expand beyond what you once thought possible. 10 seconds in, here is the truth. Comfort is a cage. Learning is the key. Improvement is the way out. If you want to keep rising, you must keep asking. Dreams die not from lack of desire, but from lack of daily alignment. Every morning you must ask yourself, what am I doing today to move closer to my long-term goals? It is easy to want the future, easy to dream of wealth, success, freedom. But most people want the reward without the repetition, the destination without the discipline. They dream at night, but drift by day. And so their goals remain fantasies, forever out of reach. The bridge between vision and reality is built with daily actions, not grand gestures, not occasional bursts of effort, but small, deliberate steps repeated with discipline. This question forces you to build that bridge. Consider the writer who wants to publish a book. The dream is big, but the daily act is simple. Sit down and write one page. Do it today. Do it tomorrow. Do it until the pages stack into chapters, and the chapters into a manuscript. The book is not written in a day, but in 1,000 mornings of disciplined effort. When you ask yourself this question, you eliminate the trap of busyness. You stop confusing motion with progress. You stop filling your day with tasks that look productive but lead nowhere. You start aligning your energy with what truly matters. Warren Buffett once said, "The chains of habit are too light to be felt until they are too heavy to be broken." The same is true of misalignment. Skip one day, it feels harmless. Skip a week, it feels acceptable. Skip a month, and suddenly your vision has drifted into the distance. But when you align daily with your long-term goals, momentum builds, compounding into results that cannot be ignored. This question also demands clarity. To know what you must do today, you must know where you are going tomorrow. Without a vision, the question has no answer. Without a compass, every road looks tempting, and you wander. But with a clear goal, the question becomes a laser. It slices through distractions and points to the next step. Ask yourself, if I want to be financially free in 10 years, what must I do today? Save, learn, build. If I want to run a marathon, what must I do today? Train, rest, eat clean. If I want to become a better parent, what must I do today? Listen, encourage, be present. Every day matters. Every action counts. The life you desire is not waiting at the finish line. It is being built in the hidden hours of your routine. This is the 6th morning question. What am I doing today to move closer to my long-term goals? It transforms your mornings into missions. It aligns your present with your future. It ensures that when you look back years from now, you see a bridge, not a gap. 10 seconds in. Here is the truth. Dreams are cheap. Discipline is priceless. Do not just hope for your future. Build it today. Step by step, action by action, morning by morning. Meaning is not found. Meaning is created. And each morning you must ask yourself, how can I make today meaningful no matter what happens? This question is not about perfection. It is about presence. Life will not unfold the way you expect. Plans will fall apart. People will disappoint you. Circumstances will shift. If your happiness depends on everything going right, you will never hold it for long. But if you decide that meaning is not tied to outcomes, that it is something you create within, then nothing can steal it from you. Think of a doctor working in a crowded emergency ward. He cannot control the chaos, the endless stream of patients, the unpredictability of every shift, but he can control how he shows up. He can decide that today, no matter how overwhelming, he will listen with patience. He will treat each person with dignity. That choice transforms the noise into meaning. That choice gives the day weight, even when it is heavy. This question shifts your focus from what happens to how you respond. It reminds you that your power lies not in control, but in creation. You may not shape the storm, but you can shape your sail. You may not dictate the events, but you can dictate your attitude. And in that decision, meaning is born. Meaning is not always grand. It is not always a world-changing event. Sometimes it is found in simple acts. A kind word to a stranger. A moment of gratitude whispered under your breath. The decision to work with integrity when no one is watching. The choice to forgive when resentment would be easier. These are not small. They are seeds. Seeds that, over time, grow into a life that others look at and say, here was someone who lived with purpose. When you wake and ask, How can I make today meaningful? You begin to prioritize differently. You stop chasing shallow validation. You stop drowning in endless tasks that leave no imprint. You begin to see what matters, what truly adds value, and you start acting in alignment with that. This question also sharpens resilience. When the day collapses, when the challenge appears, you can remind yourself, I have already chosen to make today meaningful. So instead of complaining, you create. Instead of sinking, you rise. You look at the chaos and decide, my response will carry weight, even if the outcome does not. History remembers those who lived with meaning, not just achievement. Mother Teresa did not measure her life by the scale of what she controlled, but by the love she poured into moments of service. Nelson Mandela did not define his years in prison as wasted, but as preparation for leadership, a crucible of meaning that shaped his character. This is the seventh morning question. How can I make today meaningful no matter what happens? Ask it before the noise begins. Ask it before the chaos hits. Decide in advance that today will not be wasted. That today will leave an imprint. That today you will not only survive, you will contribute. 10 seconds in, here is the truth. Life will not hand you meaning. You must create it. And the ones who live with meaning, no matter what happens, are the ones who leave behind a legacy that never dies. There is a secret hidden in plain sight. Success is not built in years. It is built in mornings. Each morning is a seed. Each question you ask yourself at dawn plants roots that shape the day, the week, the year, the life. Ask yourself these questions, and you will rise. What am I grateful for? What is the most important thing today? How do I want to show up for others? What challenges might I face? And how can I handle them? What can I learn or improve? What am I doing to move closer to my long-term goals? How can I make today meaningful no matter what happens? 7 questions, 7 anchors, 7 habits of intention. The beauty of these questions is their simplicity. They do not require hours of reflection. They do not demand perfection. They demand presence. They demand honesty. They demand that you pause in the rush of life to remember who you are becoming, not just what you are doing. Success is not a one-time event. It is the compound interest of daily reflection. Each morning you answer these questions, you are stacking proof. Proof that you are not drifting, but directing. Proof that you are not passive, but present. Proof that you are building your life on principles, not accidents. Most people wake up and react. They grab their phone. They drown in distraction. They let the world dictate their focus before they have even chosen their own. But not you. You will wake with intention. You will take control before the world takes control of you. You will lead your morning, and in doing so, you will lead your life. Think of a sculptor. Each morning he chips away at the stone. The changes are small, invisible to the impatient. But day after day, strike after strike, the masterpiece emerges. That is what these questions do. They chip away at confusion. They chip away at distraction. They carve clarity, discipline, and strength into your life. Until one day, the world looks at you and sees the sculpture of a life well lived. This is the essence of the practice. You are not answering questions. You are shaping identity. Gratitude shapes your perspective. Focus shapes your priorities. Presence shapes your relationships. Resilience shapes your response. Learning shapes your growth. Action shapes your future. Meaning shapes your legacy. Each morning question is not just a thought, it is a chisel. And your life is the masterpiece being carved. This is the 8th and final compass of the morning. To pause, to reflect, to ask, to answer, and then to act. Because questions alone do nothing. It is the action they ignite that builds greatness. 10 seconds in, here is the truth. Success is not out there waiting. It is being built right now, in the way you start your morning. The questions you ask decide the person you become. Choose carefully, because your life is the answer. Every life is a story. Some are written in chaos. Some are written in silence. Some are written by accident. But the greatest lives, the ones remembered, the ones that echo long after the voice is gone, they are written with intention. And intention begins each morning. You have heard the questions. 7 anchors, 7 habits, 7 truths that separate drifting from direction. Gratitude asks, what do you already have? Focus asks, what matters most? Presence asks, how will you show up for others? Resilience asks, how will you face the storm? Growth asks, what will you learn today? Alignment asks, how will you step closer to your future? And meaning asks, how will you make this day count no matter what happens? These are not just questions. They are weapons. They cut through fear. They silence distraction. They redirect your life from aimless motion to deliberate progress. And when you ask them, not once, not sometimes, but every single morning, you create momentum that no obstacle can contain. Most people wait. They wait for motivation. They wait for perfect conditions. They wait for applause. But the truth is brutal. If you wait, you lose. Time does not pause. Life does not wait. Opportunity does not linger. It moves on. And those who are passive are left behind. But you have the chance to lead your mornings differently. To stop waiting and start shaping. To stop drifting and start directing. To stop living by accident and start living by design. Imagine the sculptor again. He rises before dawn. The world sleeps, but he begins. The stone is stubborn. His strikes are small. Days pass, weeks pass. People see nothing but dust. But he sees what they cannot. He sees the form emerging beneath the surface. He knows that every strike, no matter how invisible, is shaping greatness. And then one day, the masterpiece stands undeniable. The same is true for you. These questions are your chisel. Each morning, one strike. Each morning, one choice. Each morning, one step closer to the life you were meant to live. Gratitude gives you perspective. It trains your eyes to see abundance, even in scarcity. It gives you strength when circumstances shout weakness. Gratitude makes you dangerous to despair. Focus gives you clarity. It cuts through the endless noise. It keeps you from being busy but empty. It makes sure your energy builds something that lasts. Presence gives you impact. It reminds you that your legacy is not only in what you achieve, but in how you influence, encourage, and lift others along the way. Resilience gives you steadiness. It prepares you for storms before they arrive. It teaches you that adversity is not your enemy, but your training ground. Growth gives you momentum. It ensures that today is not a repeat of yesterday. It keeps you humble, hungry, and open to transformation. Alignment gives you direction. It bridges the gap between your vision and your daily actions. It transforms dreams into reality, step by step, morning by morning. And meaning gives you fulfillment. It ensures that no matter what life throws at you, you will live with significance. That your days will not pass in vain, but will leave an imprint that endures. 7 questions, 7 habits, 7 truths. Simple enough to remember, powerful enough to transform everything. But here is the warning. Knowledge alone is not enough. Inspiration alone is not enough. The world is full of people who heard, who felt, who dreamed, but never acted. Do not be one of them. Do not leave this moment and slip back into drift. Tomorrow morning, the alarm will ring. The choice will return. You can reach for your phone, drown in distraction. Let the world take your focus before you have even breathed. Or you can pause, reflect, ask, answer, act. That is the fork in the road. That is the battle for your future. If you choose the questions, you choose growth. If you choose growth, you choose transformation. If you choose transformation, you choose a life that cannot be ignored. 10 seconds in, here is the truth. Success is not out there waiting for you. It is here, now, hidden in the way you begin your morning. The questions you ask are the blueprint. The answers you live are the masterpiece. So, rise tomorrow, not as a drifter, but as a builder. Rise not as a victim of circumstance, but as a leader of your own life. Rise with gratitude, with focus, with presence, with resilience, with growth, with alignment, with meaning. Because if you can master your mornings, you can master your life. And one day, when people ask how you became who you are, you will not point to a single event. You will not point to luck, or chance, or timing. You will point to mornings, to the quiet questions, to the hidden hours, to the daily choices no one saw but everyone now feels. This is the secret. This is the map. This is the truth. The greatest lives are not built in the spotlight. They are built in the silence of the morning. And now, you know how to begin.